32, verse 18, and then Joel 1 and 3. Shema, when you have it?
Shema.
So this is Numbers 32, and I'm going to pick it up at verse 18. And the backstory here is we're coming through, we're about to go to Canaan, and Moses is still leading us, and some of our brothers, Manasseh, Reuben, and half the tribe of Manasseh, and Reuben and Gad, they asked Moses, says, hey Moses, we got a lot of cattle, and this land is good for cattle. Let us stay on this side of Jordan and not pass over with the rest of the tribes. And Moses was like, your fathers did this. Why are you putting fear in the people's heart? And this is their response to Moses. Verse 18. We will not return unto our houses until the children of Israel have inherited every man his inheritance. So that
32 and 18?
Mm-hmm. Numbers 32 and 18. Numbers 32 and 18. So the children, there's 2.5 tribes. This is Gad, Reuben, and half the tribe of Manasseh. And they tell Moses, no, we're not trying to get out of fighting and helping our brothers. And this is what they declare. It says, we will not return unto our houses, meaning this side of the Jordan, until the children of Israel have inherited every man his inheritance. So they give Moses a promise. We're going to go with our brothers and we're going to conquer these nations, and we won't return to this side until all the Israelites got their inheritance. This is where I come up with nation first, family. You got to put nation first. If you don't know everything, reach out. If you see something, reach out and get to understanding. Everything we do got to be for the nation. It's not one man, it's nation first. And that's where we're at in our walk. We got to be where my pride, I don't care about my pride. I don't care about looking like this or looking like that. It's for my nation. If I don't know something, let me back up. Let me fall back and get some understanding. Nation first, family. Hallelujah. The second one is in Joel 1 and 3, and this is where we're at in our walk. It's happening, and people don't see it because people don't realize all the promises that the Most High gave us, because we wasn't brought up in the Old Testament. But the Most High is starting to fulfill his promises to us as we speak. So this is Joel 1, and I'm going to start at verse 3. Joel 1, verses 3. Shema? He says, tell your children of it, and let your children tell their children, and their children another generation. Verse 4. That which the palmer worm have left, have the locust eaten. And that which the locust has eaten, the cankerworm has eaten. And that which the cankerworm have left, the caterpillar has eaten. And he says, this is metaphors for the nations that's coming against us. These are metaphors for the nations he sent against us, right? So now let's drop down to, where is it at? Is it 2? It may be over in chapter 2. Because he promised to restore all that which these nations have taken from us, right? Is it 3? Man, I wish I... There it is. So go over to chapter 2, verse 25. Joel 2 and 25. This is where we're at in our walk, family. Joel 2 and 25. And this is the Most High promising to us. And I will restore to you the years that the locusts have eaten, the cankerworm and the caterpillar and the palmer worm, and my great army which I sent among you. So he opens up talking about these worms, but these are metaphors for the nations that he sent to chastise us. Now he's telling us, I'm going to, after y'all suffer my punishment from these nations, I'm going to restore everything that they took from y'all. This is where we're at in our walk, and this is what today's class is about. We're restoring what these nations have taken from us. Can y'all see the presentation on the screen? New Testament secrets. So I don't like to teach from topics and themes and stuff like that, because that's something that the Christians do, and our elders really, the Old Testament, they read the law. The New Testament letters, Paul and them was addressing issues that's what's happening. So we never got no thematic 7 steps to faith. No, do what I say, you be blessed. So I don't like to teach from themes, but if I could today, I want to borrow something from our brother Nick Cannon. And I downloaded that interview just in case they try to scrub the YouTube, and I got his interview with Professor Griff. And that intro is profound. You know, Nick Cannon, if y'all didn't see it, Nick Cannon's asking Professor Griff, you know, so why is it a problem when we tell people that we're Hebrews? Why is it a problem when we say we're the chosen people? As long as they're saying it, it's no issue. But when we say it, it causes a bunch of rough. Why is that? And Professor Griff says, well, it's like they took our bike when we were 6 years old, and then when we 12, we're realizing they still got our bike. And Nick Cannon says, I want my bike back. So that's what we want, our bike back. And the Old Testament was our big wheel coming up. This is how you keep y'all. These New Testament letters is our bike. And again, not to turn this into a bad session for Christianity, because we're trying to win our brothers back, but the popular culture is these New Testament letters is something totally different than the Old Testament. And now Yah and the Messiah is reaching out for the whole world to bring them under the soul. And that's not the truth, family. So today, Yah willing, we're just going to intro this lesson and break it up in parts and bits, because this could be our last gathering. This could be the last time the internet's here. When I tell you y'all, and I'm not a seer, but the writing's on the wall, we don't know when they're going to shut this down. So you guys got to be Bereans. Everything we've been learning amongst each other, you got to do it in your home, be able to see this stuff. Because those in your house, those your family and friends, it's coming a time they're going to be like, what you was talking about? Because God's going to make it obvious who we are. And everything going on tomorrow in church, they ain't going to have no answers. But they're going to remember your post that you posted on Facebook. They're going to remember you wearing those funny little things on your clothes. And your family and friends are going to come beat your door down.
Another earthquake in California.
Another earthquake in California. Every time the Most High rained down vengeance, our righteous elders got swept up in captivity. Joseph went to Egypt as a slave, but Yah kept him. Daniel had to go to Babylon in captivity, but because he was righteous and kept the law, Yah covered him. So yes, you and I, we're keeping the law the best we can, but we still got about to go through Trump and all this. But guess what? Just like in the days of old, all our ancestors who kept the Torah the best they could, Yah had a blanket over them, where the nations would only do so much. Oh, I see you're a righteous man. Won't you come lead my army? Oh, what skills you got? Won't you come train my soldiers? And that'll be your way to provide and keep yourself alive. That's been the history of our nation. So we want to be armed and ready to teach and break this thing down when this thing falls apart. So we're going to start revealing New Testament secrets, and at the same time, this is Yah restoring what the nations took from us. So let's dig into this lesson. We may only get through 2 or 3 slides today. So as always, the first thing we want to do when we talk about these New Testament writings, we want to be Bereans and get the context of what's going on. So let's go to Deuteronomy 18 and 18. Deuteronomy 18 and 18. And these are the words. The Barium. These are the words. Deuteronomy 18 and 18. Shema, were you with me?
Shema.
So this is Moses' last book, and this is what he promised to the Israelites. Moses says, Deuteronomy 18, verse 18. I will raise them up a prophet from among their brothers like unto thee, and will put my words in his mouth, and he shall speak unto them all that I shall command. So Moses is prophesying that a Messiah is coming, but he's coming from among your brothers. So the Messiah was raised up from among Judah, and he was sent to his brothers. He wasn't sent to foreign nations. So these New Testament writings are not to foreign people. Let's go to Ezekiel 37. Ezekiel chapter 37. Ezekiel chapter 37, and we're going to run down verses 15 through 22. Ezekiel 37, verses 15 through 22. This is just doing the legwork about the New Testament. Shemai, when you with me? Ezekiel 37, verses 15 through 22. You might have to give me a spotlight up here. I don't got enough light up here.
Shema.
So we're going to run down Ezekiel 37, verses 15 through 22. The word of the Most High came again unto me, saying, Moreover, thou son of man, take thee one stick and write upon it for Judah, and for the children of Israel, his companions. Then take another stick and write upon it for Joseph, the stick of Ephraim, and for all the house of Israel, his companion. So we got Judah, the southern kingdom, and we got Ephraim, the northern kingdom. Verse 17, and join them one to another into one stick, and they shall become one in thy hand. And when the children of your people shall speak unto you, saying, What wilt thou not show us what thou means by these? Verse 19, say unto them, Thus saith Yahweh the Most High, Behold, I will take the stick of Joseph, which is in the hand of Ephraim, and the tribes of Israel his fellows, and will put them with him, even with the stick of Judah, and make them one stick, and they shall be one in my hand. And the sticks whereon thou writest shall be in thy hand before their eyes. Verse 21, and say unto them, Thus saith the Most High Yah, Behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen, whither they be gone, and will gather them on every side, and will bring them into their own land. Verse 22, and I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Yashar'Allah, and one king shall be king to them all, and they shall no more be two nations, neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms anymore. This is what the Messiah started before he left. So those Israelis people, y'all just claiming Judah. Where's Ephraim at? Y'all can care less about Ephraim because y'all got the riches of the world. So the New Testament is Yeshua starting to put these two sticks together. We don't hear about this in the church. All you hear is about going to heaven, 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 and we got riches coming to us in our own land. Hallelujah. Let's go to Jeremiah 16 and 16. Jeremiah 16 and 16. We never got this inside the church. All we get is let's go to heaven, let's have a praise break. Hallelujah. Jeremiah 16 and 16. Jeremiah 16 and 16. This is all prophecy, and we're going to show you how it was fulfilled in the New Testament after we read this. This is Jeremiah 16 and 16. This is the prophecy that he's about to give. He says, Behold, I will send for many fishers, saith the Most High, and they shall fish them. And after will I send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountain, and from every hill, and out of the holes of the rocks. So he says, I'm going to send for hunters to hunt them and fishers to fish them, right? This is a Hebrewism, family. Let's go to New Testament. Let's go to Matthew 4 and 18. Let's show you how this happened, how the Most High did this. Matthew 4 and 18. There's a bunch of Hebrewisms inside the Bible that we don't learn because we don't know our culture. And that's why y'all willing Tuesday night, we're going to start going back into the Hebrew culture, starting with the language, because a lot of the false doctrine, you know, that's not a slant, that's not a slur, that's just what it is. When we present stuff, even myself, that we can't find in scripture, it's false doctrine. Don't be prideful. Let's get to the root of it. And to get to the root of it, we got to return to the culture. So Tuesday night, y'all will, we're going back into the culture. So let's read this prophecy starting to be fulfilled in the New Testament. Matthew 4, verses 18. Matthew 4, verses 18. And Yeshua, walking by the Sea of Galilee, saw two brothers, Simon called Peter and Andrew his brother, casting a net into the sea, for they were fishers. Verse 19. And he said unto them, follow me, and I will make you fishers of men. That's a Hebrewism. So Jeremiah was prophesying about Messiah coming to pick fishers to go get the Israelites. That's all the New Testament is about, fishing for Israelites. The church took it like, no, it's grace now, and he want everybody to come up under his blood, and it sounds good, it sells seats, it sells concerts. That's not what these scrolls are saying. The New Testament is for us. The New Testament belongs to us. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. So I brought this out. If y'all haven't had a chance, I did something that I had to do. I was called to do it. It was in my spirit to do it a long time ago. But I chopped a Christian pastor down, and it was not unjustly. I know him, and he deserved to be chopped down. So I brought a little bit of this out inside that lesson. It's called, what do I call that? I think I call it Jesuit Doctor versus the Messiah. So the church keep using Christians, and they think these people inside the New Testament are Christians. And as long as they keep reading these scrolls with a Greco-Roman mind and thinking Christians are somebody who believe in Christ, they're going to be led astray. So let's go to Acts 26, verse 28. Acts 26, verse 28. This is how we take back what the cankerworm and the caterpillar has eaten from us. This is the Most High doing this. This is not Brother Obadiah. This is the Most High restoring to us our heritage. These apostles belong to us. Acts 26, verses 28. Shimon?
Shimon.
So it says, then Agrippa said unto Paul, almost thou persuadest me to be a Christian. So this is where the Christian term was thrown upon us. And then there's another verse says that they were first called Christians at Antioch. And this is where we got to be Bereans, and we got to dig a little deeper. So the question I would ask, who is King Agrippa? Who is King Agrippa? Well, it's on your screen, and you can do this on your own time. Wikipedia, this is from Britannica. Herod Agrippa I, original name Marcus Julius Agrippa, born 10 BCE, died 44 CE, king of Judea, a clever diplomat who, through his friendship with the Roman imperial family, obtained the kingdom of his grandfather, Herod I, or Herod the Great. He displayed great acumen in conciliating the Romans and the Jews. King Agrippa that we just read is the grandson of Herod the Great, the one who was trying to kill baby Messiah. If Herod the Great is his grandfather, Herod is an Edomite. Herod is a Hebrew. King Agrippa is a Hebrew. What are you saying, Obadiah? Well, if King Agrippa is a Hebrew, he knows the Hebrew tongue, he wouldn't use the term Christian, because the term Christian comes from the Romans. King Agrippa would have called them, you almost persuade me to be a Nazarite. These are things, that's why I tell people, slow down when you come into the New Testament thinking you got something, because these writers have been tainted. So King Agrippa wouldn't have called Paul saying, you almost persuade me to be a Christian. That's a Roman tongue. He would have said, you almost persuade me to be a Nazarite, because he's a Hebrew. He knows our culture. So let's prove this. Acts 24 and 5. Acts 24 and 5. Acts 24 and 5. It says, notwithstanding, Slakia, I'm sorry, one verse side. 24 and 5. For we have found this man a pestilent fellow, a mover of sedition among all the Jews throughout the world, and a ringleader of the sect of the Nazarenes. So why would you use Nazarenes one chapter over and then get to a couple chapters down and says they're Christians? This is how you be Bereans, and it takes, I'm not condescending to people. I know people have been indoctrinated. That's when you got to read your scrolls like, wait a minute, this don't fit. So King Agrippa wouldn't have called Paul, you almost persuade me to be a Christian. So these people in the New Testament, Paul and all of them mentioned, they're not Christians. They're Nazarites, lawful people who believed in the Messiah. That's who these people are. So
How did it read in the other Bible?
the Septuagint don't have the New Testament because
Oh, that's right.
the Septuagint wasn't around. The Septuagint wasn't around. So that's one of the things that our brothers keep getting hung up on. I'm a Christian, and they think they're being noble, but we're not Christians, we're Nazarites. We're lawful Nazarites who believe in the Messiah, So let's go to our next slide. So now, this is probably our last slide for the day. Let me see what the slides after this. Yeah, Corinthians. Maybe we get to Corinthians. So now let's be Bereans and let's dig into the letter of the Romans. We'll go to Romans 1 and 1. Romans 1 and 1. Romans 1 and 1. Shema. So this is Romans 1 and 1, and this is Paul's intro. Paul, a servant of Yeshua HaMashiach, called to be an apostle, separated unto the gospel of Yah. Okay, so then he drops down to verse 7, and he tells you who he's writing to. Verse 7, to all that be in Rome, beloved of Yah, called to be saints. So we gloss over these words. First thing he says, to all that be in Rome. He didn't say to all my fellow Romans. He says all that be in Rome. And then if that's not clear enough, Paul says those called to be saints. Now, you know, I got to address this. People are too sensitive, but it is what it is. The word saint don't cover everybody. The word saint, let's go to Psalms, hold your marker. Let's go to Psalms 149. Because we've learned our history through a Greco-Roman doctrine, and that's what it is, family. People get offended, and this is what I come to understand. A brother on Facebook, he's going through another trial with someone else, right? And I started to chime in. I just gave him some encouragement. But family, whether you whisper the truth or whether you scream the truth is going to offend people. That's just the facts of the case. Because most times we're relying on the person we come to like and be fond of, and when we hear something that's different than what we got from the person we like, teacher, rabbi, pastor, it offends us because they're looking at it like you're attacking my rabbi, my moray, or my pastor. That's not the case. That's not the facts of the case. So let's get Psalms 149, and let's get some understanding about saints through the Hebrew eyes. This is saints through the Hebrew eyes. Psalms 149. Praise ye the Most High. Sing unto the Most High a new song, and his praise in the congregation of saints. Okay. Let Israel rejoice in him that made him. Let the children of Zion be joyful in their king. To the Hebrew, saints are the children of Israel. If that's not clear enough, let's drop down a couple verses. He says, verse 5, let the saints be joyful in glory. Let them sing aloud upon their beds. Let the high praises of Yah be in their mouth and a two-edged sword in their hand. Verse 7, to execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments upon the people, to bind their kings with chains and their nobles in fetters of iron, to execute upon them the judgments written, this honor have all his saints. The Romans are rulers. Why would Paul be writing to them about being saints and they got us into captivity? This is being Bereans and putting our heritage back in these scrolls. The New Testament belongs to us, family. We want our bike back. Now let's flip back to Romans. We want our bike back. So I ain't going to run down every Hebrewism because we'll be all day. I'm just going to give you a couple of highlights, and you can commit to your own study and find a lot more. Because you know how when somebody get a car, you start to see that car everywhere. That's what happened to me. Me and a brother was building, and we started to see stuff, and he said, yeah, check this out. And once me and him went on this path, I started to see it everywhere. Case in point, like we just brought out the word Christian in one verse, and then the other verse, it says Nazarenes. So once you get a couple of these, family, you're going to start seeing them everywhere. Let's go to Romans 7. Romans 7. Romans 7, verse 1. Romans 7, verse 1. Paul, this is Paul, right? Paul says, know ye not, brethren. That's another thing. I grew up in church. And when someone got saved, they all became Brother Charles, sister. But when you see brethren and sister in these scrolls family, they're talking to Jacob's sons and daughters. It's not that spiritual brother. He knows I'm talking to my physical people, right? So he says, know ye not, brethren, for I speak to them that know the law. How could a Roman know the law when they don't have the Torah? He's not referring to Roman law. He says, I speak to them who know the law. He's talking to Israelites. He's talking to Israelites. Then he continues on, right? He says, how that the law hath dominion over a man as long as he liveth. Verse 2, for the woman which hath a husband is bound by the law to her husband, so long as he lives. But if the husband be dead, she is loose from the law of her husband. This is not Roman law. That's Torah law. So why would Paul be telling a Roman about Torah law? They wouldn't even comprehend that. The Romans are, anyway, Paul is giving them the divorce laws, family. He's talking to Israelites. Let's get another one. Let's go to Romans 9 and 24. Let's go to Romans 9 and 24. This is taking our bite back. Romans 9 and 24. And it records, even us whom he hath called, not of the Jews only, but also of the Gentiles. So this is where they go. See, he's talking to Gentiles, right? Verse 25. As he says also in Hosea, I will call them my people, which were not my people, and her my beloved, which was not my beloved. So he's referring back to the prophecy in Hosea. Hold your marker here, family, and let's go read what he's quoting in Hosea. Let's read what he's quoting in Hosea. I will call them my people, which were not my people. Oh. Hosea, and I think we just need verse 1. Chapter 1. Hosea chapter 1. Hosea chapter 1, and you can read the whole chapter to get the true context, but for the sake of time, we're just going to skip down to verse 10. Hosea 1 and 10. Shemai? Hosea 1 and 10. Let me go back up so y'all get the context. I don't know why accuse me of trying to indoctrinate or steer y'all wrong. So let me go back up and get the context, y'all. Let's go back up to verse 4. Hosea 1 and 4. And it says, and Yah said unto him, call his name Jezreel, for yet a little while, and I will avenge the blood of Jezreel upon the house of Jehu, and will cause to cease the kingdom of the house of Israel. Again, this is punishment to the northern kingdom. Verse 5. And it shall come to pass at that day that I will break the bow of Israel in the valley of Jezreel. And she conceived again and bare a daughter. And Yah said unto him, call her name Lo Ruhamah, for I will no more have mercy upon the house of Israel. This is not the 12 tribes, family. This is northern Israel. But I will utterly take them away. Verse 7. But I will have mercy upon the house of Judah, and will save them by the Most High their Elohim, and will not save them by the bow, nor by the sword, nor by battle, by horses nor by horsemen. Now when she had weaned Lo Ruhamah, she conceived and bare a son. Verse 9. Then said Yah, call his name Lo Ami, for ye are not my people, and I will not be your Elohim. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand as the sea. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there should be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living Elohim. You lose all this history when you cut off the Old Testament and tell people the Old Testament is dead. When Paul got to Romans 9:24, he wasn't talking to Gentiles. He was talking to northern Israelites as well as the wicked Jews who had forsaken the Torah. This is how we put our culture back in these books. That's why the preachers have no understanding. Let's get the last one in Romans, family. Let's get the last one in Romans. It's a lot more, but like I said, once you start seeing a couple, you can find the rest on your. They just pop off the page at you. Let's go to Romans 2:17. Romans 2:17. This will be the last slide. I got some history to share with y'all. Romans 2:17. Shemai? So now, mind you, too, family. All of us been to school. We done read books. A writer doesn't change audiences or subject matters too often in his writings. These chapter breaks are not natural. These chapter breaks are man-made. So Paul wrote a one long letter to the Romans. All right. So let's get Romans 2:17. This is one of the ones I told you I was running around the house when I seen this. Romans 2:17. Behold, thou art called a Jew, and restest in the law, and make thyself boast of, and make thy boast of Yah. I'll read this again, family. Romans 2:17. Behold, thou art called a Jew, and rest in the law, meaning the law is your support. Why would Paul be writing the Romans and telling them they're Jews? Why would Paul, who by education, he tells you, I was raised in the greatest yeshiva known to the Israelites at the time. I sat at the feet of Gamaliel. I know the Torah frontwards and backwards, and I know the oral law. Why would Paul call these Romans and say, I know y'all are Jews? I know y'all are Jews. Let me show you some history of why Paul is calling these people Jews, family. Let me share some history why he's calling these people Jews, and we can wrap here for the day. Let me show you why he's calling these people Jews. Is the screen still sharing, family? Mm-hmm. It is? Mm-hmm. All praises. So this is Tacitus on the Jews. Now, Tacitus was a Roman general. In Rome, you had to come up in the ranks by the army. That's why they brought that over here. Join the army first, and then you become a politician, and boom, boom, boom. Then, and y'all see that now. All the politicians, they praise that I served in the army, except Trump. Trump can't brag that, right? So Tacitus is a Roman soldier, and he came up in the ranks, and he actually ruled our land where our people was at for some time. And after Tacitus retired from the military, he went back to Rome, and he wrote down history. He wrote down history of his time in our part of the world. And his writings are still available. You can download them. I got them on PDF. So Tacitus is what you call that? What's it called? Eye-hand witness? How do you say that?
First-hand witness.
First-hand witness. First-hand. Tacitus is a first-hand witness of our people during these New Testament periods, right? So this is Tacitus on the Jews. You can go to livius.org and get this. And this is what he records about the Jews, right? I just want to point this out. This is for all those out there who are scoffing us because we're ignorant, we're from the ghettos, we didn't go to university, we didn't go to seminary, we just trying to make up our identity, right? These black Israelites just trying to make up our identity. So this is Tacitus, a Roman. Why would he have to lie? Let me scroll down here. And he's giving them the history of the Jews, right? He says, the Jews are said to have been refugees from the island of Crete, who settled in the remotest corner of Libya in the days when, according to the story, Saturn was driven from his throne by the aggression of Jupiter. So this is Roman mythology. Saturn and Jupiter, they don't exist. They're Roman gods. So the fact that they say the Jews settled in Libya, that's Africa. Y'all can't make it in Florida. So y'all was in Libya in ancient times. So he continues on, family. Let me drop down here for the sake of time. Can y'all see this right here? Let me try to highlight. I'm working around the mouse. Can y'all see that line? Mm-hmm. He says, this is Tacitus. Many assure us that the Jews are descended from the Ethiopians. From the Ethiopians. So I don't care what era you pull your history from, the Ethiopians were never mistaken for white folks. So here's Tacitus, a Roman, a non-Israelite, a non-African American. He has no reason to lie. He's telling us, many assure us that the Jews are descended from the Ethiopians. And y'all know, I'm preaching to the choir. Y'all know that's for those Christians, some of our people saying that, they think they're Israelites. Everyone knows the Jews, and Jews became a generic term. Jews became that broad term from everybody from Israel because the other tribes pretty much got lost, air quotes, got lost. So the tribe of Judah became like the dominant tribe, but that term Jew covered everybody. So the Jews were identified as Ethiopian. Ethiopia is a Greek word for burnt face, the burnt face people. So let's go to another article on Tacitus. This is Tacitus on the Christians. Tacitus on the Christians. And the backstory here, family, Rome had a wicked emperor named Nero. Anybody ever heard of Nero? Nero was a crazy, crazy emperor. His history is recorded. He was a sick man. But he set fire to Rome and he blamed it on the Christians. Let's find out who these Christians were. This is Tacitus on the Christians. On the 19th through 27th July of the year 64. This is 64 AD, right? Christ is long back on the throne. Yeshua is well resurrected. This is 64 AD. Rome was destroyed by a great fire. Only 4 of his 14 quarters remained intact. The Emperor Nero was blamed by the Roman populace. So the Romans were like, Nero did this. In turn, the Roman emperor was blamed by the Roman populace and in turn blamed the Christians. So Nero, the people knew Nero did it, but Nero said those Christians did it, right? The Roman historian Tacitus explains what happened. The translator of Annals, chapter 15.44 is not known. So I got some of Tacitus' writings and he talks about the fire. He says, but all human effort and all the lavish gifts of the emperor and the propitiations of the gods did not banish the sinister belief that the conflagration or the fire was the result of an order. Consequently, to get rid of the report, Nero fastened the guilt and inflicted the most exquisite tortures on a class of hated for their abominations called Christians by the populace. Christians in air quotes. Christus, from whom the name had its origins. So again, that's why I tell people, Agrippa wouldn't call Paul a Christian. Agrippa is a Hebrew. The Christian terms come from the Romans. That's their tongue. So none of our people, the wicked Israelites who hated Messiah, they didn't call us Christians. They called us Nazarites. So it continues on. Christus, from whom the name had its origins, suffered the extreme penalty during the reign of Tiberius at the hands of one of the procurators. So this is verifying. Tacitus is confirming that our Messiah, who they're calling Christus, suffered under Tiberius. That's in the New Testament. So you deny the Messiah, the Romans know he exists. The Romans know he was crucified during the reign of Tiberius. Our king is real. He says, and the governor was Pontius Pilate, a most mischievous and superstitious, thus checked for the moment, again broke out not only in Judea, the first source of the evil, but even in Rome. So this superstition about believing in this Messiah that was crucified and resurrected, it started to break out again. More converts were believing, first in Judea because of the apostles, then the ones in Rome started to hear about it. Paul's letter to the Romans. Our history is verified, family. Our history is verified. We have Peter and them inside Judea telling people the king has come. Then we have Paul and other apostles going around right to the Romans, talking about our Messiah. So for the sake of time, let's drop down. Let's read this commentary about the fire. Rome was destroyed by fire in July 64. Tacitus' story suggests that the Christians were killed in the same summer. An early Christian tradition adds some details, such as the decapitation of Paul and the crucifixion of Peter. Case in point, family, we know Paul and Peter are not Christians, they're Nazarites. So this is further proof that the term Christians is what the Romans used. Why did Nero blame the Christians? The answer may be that they were living near the place where the fire started. So we got Christians living near the fire, right? The eastern part of the Circus Maximus, the gladiator games, Circus Maximus, where they put us in the gladiator games, right? It should be noted that the first Roman Christians were Jews. Do y'all grasp Y'all grasp that? It should be noted that the first Roman Christians were Jews. These are our people. The New Testament is our bite. These are our letters. Messiah is not fishing for no potpourri or no myriad of people. These are our people, family. These are our scrolls. So it should be noted that the first Roman Christians were Jews and probably lived with other Jews. The ways of Judaism and Christianity parted later. So one of the Jewish quarters in Rome was just east of the Circus, near the Capena Gate. It is described by the Roman, check this, y'all sitting down? Check this out. It is described by the Roman author Juvenal as a slum area. Jews living in a slum area, huh? Now, this is what he says. This is what Juvenal says about our slum area. Now, the grove with its sacred spring and the shrine of a water goddess are rented to the Jews, whose worldly goods are no more than a basket and some hay. The wood has become the haunt of beggars. The wood is an old term for the woods, the wilderness. He says the woods are filled with beggars, our folks. So where the Jews are living are slums. Sounds like America, don't it? Rent that to the Jews. Make them pay rent for that raggedy piece of land right there. That's the curses, family. That's what we get when we say the law is done. That's why we're coming back to our inheritance. We want our bite back. It continues on. That the Christians were living. Is it big enough, family? Are y'all straining?
I can see it.
Y'all all right? Huh? That the Christians were living among the Jewish proletariat is also suggested by the presence of a very ancient church, the SS Nero ed Achilleo, which is in a venerable old legend connected with Peter's last days. Both the Capena Gate and this church are situated on the Appian Road, which is also connected with the last days of Peter. So there were Jews living near the place where the fire started, and there was another reason to suspect the people near the Capena Gate. Their part of the city was not destroyed by the fire, but Nero could never punish the Jews of Rome. But Nero could never punish the Jews of Rome. But Nero could never punish the Jews of Rome. Why not? There were thousands of them. There were thousands of them. Everywhere we go, we take over. That's why they wanted us out of Egypt. Look at these Israelites. Look at these Hebrews. Because y'all know our women are the most fertile. Like I brought out before, our great-grandmothers having babies in shacks that didn't even have floors. Y'all up there with the best house, concrete and all this mess, and your woman's struggling to have one little baby. And our grandmothers popping them out. Boom, 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 boom. So we ran to Rome during the Greek captivity to get away from the Greeks. We had a friendship with Rome, family. Rome was the protector of the world. And we had a friendship with them. Under the Maccabees, we ran to Rome and said, we're getting out of here. So when Paul wrote this letter to the Romans, he was writing to Israelites. Paul was writing to Israelites. So let me read this again, and this is for my stiff-necked folks out there. This is for my stiff-necked folks out there. But Nero could never punish the Jews of Rome. There were thousands of them. The Christians, on the other hand, were an easy target. So why is he distinguishing the Jews from the Christians? Because those Christians are a Roman term, they're Nazarites. The wicked Israelites who forsook Messiah became known as the Jews, and our elders became known as the Christians to the Romans. So the Jews who didn't believe in the Messiah, the Romans left them alone because they had more of the wealth that they took from the temple. They had better clothes, so they lived better than us Nazarites. And they pretty much forsook them like, yeah, they're crazy. So us Christians, us Israelites, us Nazarites were on our own. And we didn't have the numbers like the Jews. So the Jews just says, they're not our brothers. You can do what you want with them. So Nero says, I can't blame the Jews because they outnumber us. Let me blame these Nazarites. They did the fire. They did the fire. Let me finish this up, family. The Christians, on the other hand, were an easy target. Moreover, there have been some element of distorted truth in the accusation, because the Christians believe that Rome will be destroyed during Christ's return. They must have responded enthusiastically when they saw Babylon burning. And in fact, Tacitus tells us that at least some of them pleaded guilty, i.e., admitted something that their interlocutors interpreted as a confession. So in a nutshell, family, what we want to glean from this, Paul's letters to the Romans, his letters to Israelites. His letter are to the Israelites who became known as Christians to the Romans, and all his letters are to Israelites. Family, we're taking our bite back. The New Testament as well as the Old Testament, from cover to cover, Genesis to Revelation belongs to the nation of Israel. That's what we want to drive home. So as long as our brothers and sisters hold on to this pseudo title, this pseudo label of being a Christian, they're going to be lost because we're not Christians. We are Israelites who accept Messiah. We became known as Nazarites. We became known as Nazarites. So we'll stop there for now. We'll pick up next week, y'all willing. Any comments or questions on what we went over today, family? All praises. So with that being said, family, we're close, and y'all just stay strong, family. It's going to be a bumpy ride. It's going to be a long ride. We're seeing division. The Christians are attacking us, calling us all kind of names. We got division within the Hebrew community, and that's just part of the walk, family. You got to be strong, stick to the book, and if it's possible, we want to live in peace. We want to draw our brothers and sisters out of Christianity the best we can. But we're going to show the context of all those letters inside those New Testament writings. They belong to the Israelites. From Genesis to Revelation belong to the Israelites.